weekend, taking time to give that very short statement under 2 minutes in which he essentially praised, of course, the United States House of Representatives for passing the bill, also pushed the Senate to do the very same. Pretty clear now when you look at the numbers, even though the president has decided to go the route that will get him enough votes to pass this thing with just Democrats, he's still looking for some Republican votes as well. Listen.
We have no time to waste. If we act now, decisively, quickly, and boldly, we can finally get ahead of this virus. We can finally get our economy moving again. And the people of this country have suffered far too much for too long. We need to relieve that suffering. The American Rescue Plan does just that. It relieves the suffering. And it's time to act.
As we've been saying, not a single vote from Republicans in the House of Representatives. The president hoping to change that on the Senate side. So why even give a 2-minute speech? Well, the indication here from people who work with the administration is the president is simply trying to go around the middlemen, including the media and the politics up on Capitol Hill, to try to talk directly to the people there in the communities and the districts and the states where there is opposition, to try to get them to get their politicians on the president's side. Fred, back to you.
All right, and Susanna on the Hill, what's next?
Well, it's going to be a much more complicated battle on the Senate side, but there is a sense of urgency here in Congress. It was just after 2 in the morning that the House passed this. 219 to 212 was the vote tally here. What is happening, however, is that one of the elements, the minimum wage increase to $15 an hour, of course, running into a snag, and that is because the Senate parliamentarian already announcing that this does not comply with the reconciliation rules. They are very strict rules regarding the budget, and if the Democrats want to push this through with just a simple 51 vote majority, not the normal 60, then they're going to have to strip that out of this package, out of the bill. There have been some progressives on the House Democrat side saying that they want the parliamentarian ignored, removed, or overruled. There's no sign that that is going to happen, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is saying, look, even if they don't have that minimum wage increase, they're going to sign this if it comes back to them without that. Very likely that it's not going to contain that. But what it does have, Fred, some critical elements that both Republicans and Democrats like. They're talking about $1,400 in direct stimulus payments for those making less than $75,000, enhanced unemployment aid from $300 a week to $400 a week ending in August, assistance for small businesses, money for child care, food aid, aid for states, local and tribal governments, increased support for vaccines as well as schools, and again that controversial element, that provision on minimum wage likely to be taken out. Fred, they're looking at a deadline, or at least a goal here, of March 14th. That is when some 11 million Americans will run out of the enhanced unemployment aid. They're hoping that this will get on the president's desk by then, Fred.
All right, Suzanne Malveaux, Joe John, thanks to both of you. Appreciate it. All right, straight ahead, a new report finding the Saudi prince approved the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. So why won't President Biden do more?
Good morning, Mr. Sun.
Well, good morning, Blair.
Ooh, I'm gonna grow big and strong. Yes, you are.
I'm gonna get this place all clean.
I'll give you a hand. And I'm gonna put Lisa on crutches. Wait, what?
Says he's gonna need crutches. She fell pretty hard. You might want to clean that up, girl. Excuse us.
When owning a small business gets real, Progressive helps protect what you built with customizable coverage.
And I'm gonna...
Donnie, no.
Welcome to the next level. This phone paired with 5G ultra wideband. Wow. The new Samsung Galaxy S21 is here, and it's on Verizon 5G ultra wideband, the fastest 5G in the world. Available in parts of many cities.
It's not just a great network.
It's ridiculously fast. Stream your favorite shows in Ultra HD.
I'm so excited about this. Streaming was crystal clear.
Select unlimited plans, get the Disney bundle included, and Discovery Plus on us.
Yes.
Buy Samsung Galaxy S21 plus 5G. Get one on us. Only on Verizon.
Sarah!
Jenny Craig works. Introducing Rapid Results Max, our most effective weight loss program ever. You can lose up to 17 pounds in your first 4 weeks. Limited time offer and flexible delivery options with Jenny Craig.
When you take a statin drug to reduce cholesterol, it can also deplete your CoQ10 levels. I recommend Cunol CoQ10 to help restore this important heart health nutrient. Cunol is the brand I recommend considering along with your statin medication. Tony here from CreditRepair.com, taken to the streets to talk about credit. What's a good credit score? Go.
600.
Maybe if you're trying to pay thousands extra in interest rates. Can your credit score impact your job?
Oh, another one.
No. Oh, no. Is credit repair expensive?
Isn't having bad credit expensive?
My man. Cut the confusion. Get started with a free credit evaluation at CreditRepair.com.
Liz, you nerd, cough if you're in here.
I took Mucinex TM for my phlegmy cough.
What about Rob's dry cough?
Works on that too, and lasts 12 hours.
12 hours? Who studies that long?
Mucinex DM relieves wet and dry coughs. The #1 brand doctors trust.
This looks different.
It is. Epic high-res photos and 8K video cinema quality.
This is different.
Told you.
You brat.
That is delicious.
Oh my God. Oh, that's beautiful. It just melts in your mouth. Wow, so good. Just about everywhere you turn, there's something incredible to see. Look at that, it's absolutely beautiful.
Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy. Tomorrow at 9.
Want to save hundreds on your wireless bill? With Xfinity Mobile, you can. How about saving hundreds on the new Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G? You can do that too. All on the most reliable network? Sure thing. And with fast nationwide 5G included at no extra cost, we've got you covered. So join the carrier rated #1 in customer satisfaction. And learn how much you can save at xfinitymobile.com/mysavings.
Top 5 reasons people talk to Habas & Associates after an accident. The first consultation is free. Family and friends think it's a good idea. They're frustrated with insurance company delays. The other driver was uninsured or underinsured. And best of all, you could get 3 times more money than going it alone. There are a lot of reasons to talk to us if you've been injured. Let us take care of you while we take on the insurance company. Call Habas & Associates today.
I'm John Harwood at the White House, and this is CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mesobook.com.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma. Call for the free book and receive so much more. Call 1-800-831-3700.
The Biden administration is issuing sanctions against dozens of Saudi officials and departments for their role in the murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. The sanctions follow the release of a declassified U.S. intelligence report about the 2018 killing at the Saudi Arabian embassy in Istanbul, Turkey. The report specifically implicates Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as the one who ordered the operation. But the sanctions do not specifically target MBS, which is drawing some sharp criticism. Journalist Nicholas Kristof in the New York Times said this: Mr. Biden, it's not a human rights gesture to sanction MBS. Jamal was a practical man who didn't believe in mushy gestures, but he did dream of a more democratic Arab world that would benefit Arabs and Americans alike. And by letting a murderer walk, you betray that vision. CNN diplomatic editor Nick Robertson joining me now. So, Nick, how is this being interpreted? The release of this report and the U.S. not necessarily going after MBS in particular?
In the region, by Saudi's allies, we've heard from Kuwait, from Bahrain, from the UAE, from Yemen, from Oman today, all saying that they support Saudi Arabia's position, and the very strong pushback that came from the Saudi Foreign Ministry, saying they reject the conclusions of the report. It's based on wrong conclusions, and it doesn't match with their own investigation. I think set that to one side. This is a very complex, difficult political situation for President Biden. On the one hand, you know, Saudi Arabia is the largest and most powerful country in the Gulf. It's been an important ally and remains an important ally in the fight against terrorism. It's an important strategic ally against Iran. And if the United States pulls out of there or draws back its support, then there's no doubt Saudi Arabia will look for support from Russia or from China. And we're no longer in a world where the United States is the lasting dominant superpower. China is on the rise economically and militarily and will continue to challenge the United States more aggressively and to allow it the opportunity to get a foothold and influence in Saudi Arabia. For President Biden strategically looking forward to the United States, that's a very difficult decision. And the reality is, the Crown Prince is the day-to-day ruler of the country. The King has made him so because the King is, despite the Crown Prince and the King, despite all the problems that they've created, are trying to move the country forward, reduce the power of the conservative clerics in the country, and bring some changes, positive changes, economic changes, employment changes, opportunity changes for the young population. So they are trying to change the country. So it's a very complex picture. But in essence, yes, President Biden has said the United States' power in the world stands in part on its adherence and support for human rights around the world. And in this case, it has called Saudi Arabia out, but isn't punishing the man it says is responsible. And these two things are very hard to square.
And then, Nick, shortly after taking office, President Biden proclaimed that America is back, diplomacy is back, and we saw this week where Biden called the Saudi king before this report was actually released. So what is the message being sent? What's the message received globally about the U.S. posture on the global stage?
Yeah, let's just take some of the United States European allies, for example. The United States has stopped supplying weapons under President Biden to the Saudis for their campaign in Yemen. Britain still does. France still has good military contracts with Saudi Arabia. Germany has pulled back a little bit. Now, these are three countries that have come to their own assessment about the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, didn't sit on intelligence reports, didn't release them either, but they have their own assessment of who was responsible, and they've lived with that assessment. President Biden's made it public, and he's got to stand by it, and that is the assessment that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman authorized the killing or the capture of Jamal Khashoggi. So I think, when European nations in particular look